We survived. We survived. We survived the first off weekend of the Paramount Plus era. Matty, you were an excellent boyfriend last week because you dodged the UFC fights to hang out with your girlfriend on Valentine's Day. I did the same as well. It was a small sacrifice that we were willing to pay, but unfortunately, got to get back to business this weekend. We are back with a card, a good one from Houston at the Toyota Center. UFC Houston, Strickland versus Hernandez in the main event, and it is a banger of a road show. We thank you guys for joining us tonight. I got to bring on my man, the myth, the long shot legend himself, Matty Betts. Matt Tanner, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Good, bro. Good. Dude, this is like one of the funnest cards of the year, I think. I think after this card's over, everyone's gonna be like, damn, that was a good card.
Yeah, I really like this card too. I have to say that there was one thing that popped in on your Telegram shortly before we went on air that when I let out an audible groan because I wanted to be aligned on every fight, and it is already over. But that's okay because we'll go through it, and I'm sure you're going to be right about a lot of these fights, and maybe me less so. But how did you spend your off week? Were you doing extra? Were you trying to get ahead on tape for this, or just locked in on boyfriend stuff?
Yeah, no, a little bit of both. Not a ton. I did a lot this week, truthfully, but no football, no UFC in the same weekend was fucking brutal, bro.
Yeah, but I had at least the Daytona 500 to keep me company. But I was going through and making a ton of changes to my model this week. I haven't had a particularly great run, and that's kind of the fun of you guys doing this with me is that I will evolve and patch, if you will, my model over time for things that I don't think it's doing particularly well. Super excited about some of the new stuff I've got going on, including like an attrition marker. So that tried to help me normalize a little bit of what the heck happened to Nico Price a couple weeks ago, where like I did like him in a sort of, if that fight was a sort of scrap, but at this point his chin is dust, and I was trying to find a way to have my model tell me that. So those are the types of market improvements that I'm trying to work toward, and hopefully we'll get some better results going here.
For sure, bro. Let's run it. Let me.
All right. I was gonna say, well, co-main already, man. We flew through those prelims. I think we can fly through this one a little bit here. Largest favorite on the card, first up in UFC Houston, Carly Judice, Crispy Carly taking on Juliana Killer Miller. Both of these ladies, very different sort of entry paths to UFC. Miller won the Ultimate Fighter, and Judice, of course, coming off the Contender Series and a wild barn burner. I think it's still one of the best Contender Series fights ever against our girl Ernesta Karachkate. And Judice is capitalized, man. She has now scored 2 straight knockouts. She's 26 years old. She doesn't have a ton of pro fights under her belt, but a lot of them have been very good, Matty. So do you think Judice is worth the squeeze here at minus 850, or I'm sure, even larger in some spots now as we sit here?
Dude, it was like minus. I saw it like minus 600, and it fucking ballooned. I was like, yo, even at minus 600, I would lay $6,000 to win a band on this fight, but now it's just insane. I just don't see a way she could ever lose this fight, but it is women's MMA. I think she finishes her by knockout on the feet. But it is a weird style matchup here. Let me see what the KO. Do you even know what the KO is here?
Let's see if we got some props somewhere.
I think Florida, we just got props on the prelims today.
So I've got FanDuel showing Judice KO minus 130, Judice points plus 230, Miller points plus 950, and then Judice sub actually 11-1. So that's kind of interesting. It's shorter than Miller's sub.
Wow, I didn't even realize that. Oh no, I see Miller sub it. Yeah, Miller sub 16-1. That's what I see.
Yeah, I was able to model this guy because these girls have enough octagon time here. I really like that Judice points number. I have it plus 116. And she is coming off a couple of knockouts against girls I think are worse than Miller. And I think at least the difference in this matchup for her is Dubin and Nicole Cagliari. They are typically, they try to stay at range. They're more strikers by trade. Neither of them have like a prolific takedown offense. At least Miller has a very different game plan. And like, Miller a couple fights ago against Luana Santos, who now fights at 135, was put out to lunch there. So I don't really know what she has for her on the feet, but can she stall? Can she put this in the clinch? Can she find a way to survive? Like, I definitely think, especially with how the odds look now, I have no interest in a women's flyweight juiced KO at minus 130. I prefer the decision at plus 230 when Judice might be due for one here.
Yeah. If you take the KO, do you think it's early or late?
I mean, both are extremely plausible. It really just would come down to the fact Miller can't get this fight on the ground or in the clinch. She's just getting beat up. I mean, this is such a wild squash match from that perspective.
I kind of like accumulation here, like 2-3, but who the hell knows? I think if you have 2-3, you almost hope Miller gets a takedown early.
Yeah, and like that's the fear of like if you try to get cute here with point spreads, it's like would it be the most shocking thing in the entire world in women's MMA if Miller is able to actually just get on top of Judice for the first time anyone ever has and she doesn't have a very good bottom game? Like, would that be the most surprising thing 7 pro fights in? So that's why I get scared at the money line as it is now, but I think the decision is playable. And interesting then if KO is favored, this fight's minus 210 to not go the distance. So rather than play the decision prop, I mean, you could just play overs here instead of, and then you get in case, Miller's able to actually secure takedowns and stuff. It's a safer path. So
for sure. All right, well, let's not waste any time here.
Okay, sounds good to me because I am interested in your thoughts on this next one here. We have lightweight on the graphic. I have featherweight in my notes, and we need to figure that out because I think it makes a big difference.
It's at featherweight.
I thought so too. It was at 145, which is why my intro for this is kind of odd that Jordan Leavitt's dropping down from 155. And Yadier Devalle coming off that maybe foul play fight against Isaac Dolgarian. Obviously, the submission heard around the world in the betting sphere late last year, but that's now a second straight win for Devalle since coming off the Contender Series. And now he gets Leavitt as kind of a black belt versus black belt sort of matchup, Matty. We've been Jordan Leavitt guys in the past, but I honestly think this is a little weird of a pivot for him. What do you think about him now coming back as a pretty distant underdog in this 145-pound debut?
I think he could have success with like physicality here, just being, getting a takedown on the feet, but I think it's not good for his chin against a better striker. So I'm eyeing up the Yadier by KO. It's hard to, it is black belt versus black belt, but like it's hard to get there on Yadier by sub when we don't really know the whole Isaac Dolgarian, how legit that sub was, of course. But I lean the KO prop here. The sub I think is in the plus 250 range, plus 275. And I think the KO is in like the plus 150 range. Let's take a look here. But I think Yadier is going to knock him out, bro.
I'm with you, dude. My read that I had here, I like Yadier KO. I think this is a weird
purple belt. JB says.
Oh well, he's got a lot of UFC subs for a guy who's a purple belt. Now I will say he was tapped by Paddy Pimblett in pretty short order. Yeah. You wanna talk about a size mismatch? That was one in hindsight, but like. I think Devalle is a guy that is certainly an interesting physical prospect in this division. I do think his stand-up is better than we give him credit for, plus 3.38 striking success rate overall. I'm with you, Matty. Maybe Leavitt is hoping to have more success maybe offensively wrestling in this lighter weight class, but I'm concerned about the guy who dropped round 3 to Claudio Puellas and to Trey Ogden, and he didn't have the best cardio to begin with, and now all of a sudden cutting additional weight, and you got the chin concerns, and he's not super comfortable at distance. You ready for this stat that I pulled? Jordan Leavitt hasn't landed more than 10 distance strikes in a fight since 2022. It's been 3 years.
I cashed on his 17-1 KOs because it was a slam.
Yeah. But like, I think Devalle, if he chooses to, and if this fight has a stand-up sort of nature to it, there's a reason he's going to look minus 400 in this particular fight. So, FanDuel, by the way,
strong guy. Dude, look how jacked he is. Like I think there's matchups where Leavitt can have a lot of success at 45, but I just don't know that this is one of them.
Is there any sort of possibility or path here that it's plausible that maybe there wasn't foul play in that Dolgarian fight and he's just incredibly big and strong, or do we think it was a dive for sure?
Oh, bro. The guy went off the grid. I think that speaks for itself. No one's heard from the guy since the fight.
Yeah, because if you knew, like, if we had truth serum that was a full performance from Dolgarian and he looked like that, this guy's going to be in the rankings and going to be a monster. But I think nobody is making that assumption as we enter this way. It's a weird, tough matchup for both guys. I would have thought they tried to push Devalle a little better than this.
Yeah, I am worried that Yadier chokes him though. I am worried about that on the. Yeah, I mean, Levitt's been subbed by, it was Chase Hooper, but Chase Hooper and Patty. Who else has really subbed him? Really, no one. But I don't know. I'm a little nervous that if he just gets if he hurts him and then gets his back, I think he can sub him for sure. But I like the KO prop for sure. Plus 165 is what I see.
I think I am going to take a cardio angle. I'm going to go 2-3 and 2-3 KO here for Delija, which is plus 223, by the way, on FanDuel. Round 2 or round 3. Don't even have to worry about knockout or sub.
Fair enough.
All righty.
So
no model results on this guy. Delija doesn't have enough time, so got to have at least 35 octagon minutes to qualify.
We got Julius Walker up next.
Oh, not Julius. Well, I mean, I'll take Julius Walker again. That was one of the few things I got right at UFC Vegas 113. But we know that's Phil Rowe. It even looks like Phil Rowe if it walks like Phil Rowe and talks like Phil Rowe. We got the Phil Rowe at 170 taking on Jean Paul Lebosnoyani. I practiced that name a few times, as you'd imagine, entering this particular fight. Matty, John Paul coming off an impressive head kick on the Contender Series. Phil Rowe, always a dog, always live, and it seems like so especially late after he's been taken down a bunch. Yeah. What do you think about this landing spot for Lebosnoyani? I knew I was going to mess it up in his UFC debut.
Yeah, I haven't watched a ton of tape on him yet, but I like his statistics. He's a very accurate striker. Yep. I like Phil Rowe's chin. I think he's very hesitant at times. I'm kind of leaning favored by decision here, bro. I want to get your opinion on that because Phil Rowe will kind of coast and not go for it sometimes, and I feel like he could get outlanded in this spot and lose on the scorecards. Rowe's plus 165 on the money line right now, so same number. But decisions plus 325 here. And then Phil Rowe decisions plus 475. I think 325 is a great number, bro. Am I crazy?
Is it plus 325 for Lebosnoyani here?
A decision, yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, that could plausibly make sense. I mean, Rowe is a guy that's made a lot of defensive grappling improvements, especially from bottom position. He's been doing a lot of grappling stuff. I will say this. What is the one signature Phil Rowe performance that makes you feel good about him, like moving forward? Like, what's the one you would hang your hat on? Is it, getting destroyed by Nico Price for 2 rounds and having to come from behind? Right. Is it getting destroyed by Losa for 2 rounds, having to come from behind?
Yeah. I think the Ange Losa one's the most impressive, and it's still like he was down.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think it's going to be a similar fight here where he's down 2 rounds and he's either going to pull it out in round 3 or he's going to lose on the cards here.
Yeah.
But I like favorite by decision here.
Isn't it
crazy?
Isn't this money line a little odd in that it almost feels like kind of a trap? Because Lebosnoyani was one of the stars of this past Contender Series season. Yeah. Usually these guys get a bump. You'd think he's got a favorable matchup. And the thing with Rowe is if you can start getting your wrestling going, Seokyeon Ko, we saw Losa do it a little bit. He has really poor takedown defense, and Lebosnoyani's a guy, had 5 of his first 8 pro wins by submission. Like, I remember I bet sub on the Contender Series for Lebosnoyani, and he threw a head kick and ended up getting the KO there. But I'm with you. I was kind of leaning more sub decision, takes the right game plan, is able to get some takedowns, and Rowe has been really safe from bottom. So that decision number over 3.5 to 1 or so is really good. I agree with you.
Yeah, I might play it. We'll see if it makes a cycle appearance or not.
Yeah. The comment we just got, if you want to throw that up there, the JPL, there is limited footage in terms of his wrestling and his top game at 170. It is a good point that I don't know if he's got that, but I also think he's got hard low kicks. Like, it's a weird fight, but I do lean Lebosnoyani.
He got subbed by Cody Steele in grappling back. That was back in 2019, though.
Yeah.
But Steele's a great grappler, though. A pretty good grappler.
I totally agree.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it moving.
All righty, Matty. So let's look at, why don't we stay at 170 here? Puna Soriano taking on Ramiz Brahimaj. You want to talk about 2 guys that have turned their careers around lately. I mean, they're just winning all over the place in 2025. Soriano coming from Extreme Couture. Ramiz training now at Travis Lutter BJJ with Kevin Holland. Also spent some time with Bilal Muhammad. We got 2 quality gyms, 2 quality athletes, so guys that have had a lot of success recently, Matty, and a near pick 'em for it. So what do you think about this matchup with Brahimaj now minus 136? Is that accurate? Yeah, he is minus 136.
Yeah.
So
I love the Brahimaj side. I like Soriano's power, but like bro, I loved Brahimaj's performance against Vanderford. Like, I'm actually high on Austin Vanderford. I think it was just a tough matchup, and Vanderford was having success in round one. But Brahimaj, I feel like Soriano can make one fucking mistake with putting his neck out there, bro. And he's been going to his wrestling a lot.
yeah.
And I just think it's going to take one mistake, and he's going to choke him out here. I like Brahimaj as a sub play, maybe for the cycle. I also think his striking is very underrated. I think as long as I think Soriano is honestly KO or bust here. I really do. So I like Brahimaj a lot. Sounds like you're on the other side.
Do you see him as just KO or bust solely because you don't think Soriano could get his wrestling going and stay safe for 15 minutes?
I don't think he should get his wrestling going. I think he's going to wrestle into danger, bro. This guy's got a tight squeeze. I actually talked to Bilal about Brahimaj.
Yeah.
Bilal is like, dude's got a great chin. He's in shape. His jiu-jitsu is very good. I'm very high on him. Like I said, I think Vanderford's better than people think. I think he's actually a pretty solid guy, and he was able to get that choke in there against him. So I'm going to trust that Brahimaj is the real deal here. I think he's going to go on a run.
Yeah, it is interesting. I will say, coming into this, as you and I do, we intentionally try not to do a ton of prep because we kind of want to react to the numbers in live time. I was kind of torn between Brahimaj sub and then Puna Soriano decision because I think it is kind of a position over submission matchup, and who ends up getting the better of that, because Soriano's been a wrestling freak since he's moved to 170. He's landed 9 takedowns in 3 fights. Incredible plus 170 striking differential. I mean, I liked Miguel Baeza a lot in his prime, and then he came back, fought Soriano. It looked horrible, and we haven't seen Miguel since. So, like, I don't.
Brahimaj 0-4 on the scorecard, so that's the way you beat him. It's 300 for Soriano by decision, so I think it's a good angle as well.
Yeah, and I've got it plus 167, and when you factor in the numbers, I think that's the side I'm going to be forced to play. But literally in my write-up, I said it is a question mark because I don't think of Soriano as a guy who has plus jiu-jitsu. You've seen him caught in a couple of iffy moments in that Varetnikov fight. Like, he definitely left his neck out there, and Varetnikov wasn't good enough to make it count. Brahimaj very much is. He's got great front chokes. He's got a great guillotine. I think he's very capable of taking his back in a scramble. It's going to be a sweat if I bet Puna, because he's going to be in trouble at least once and going to have to work his way out of it. But
I just think Brahimaj is very opportunistic with those opportunities. Like, I think he's going to be able to find that choke, whether it's like a ghillie on a takedown attempt or he scramble or he gets the back. I'm going to trust that he gets the sub here. I don't mind a plus 300 decision play on Soriano though.
Yeah. We got a question. Does my model account for a level of competition? It absolutely does. And I've got, let's see. So I've got Soriano's level of competition 62nd percentile at welterweight, and then Brahimaj just 38th percentile. So really a big level of competition edge for Soriano here. I've got Soriano a 55.1% favorite, most of that being via decision. And then Brahimaj sub, I have plus 309. So I'm kind of surprised to see it so short, but then at the same time, he's 12-0 as a sub by pros, so I get it.
Yeah. And remember, Brahimaj's really never been put away by strikes. It was just that ear injury against Max Griffin.
Oh, that was disgusting. Yeah, I forgot about it. And now you reminded me about that. I just ate before we came on. Oh God. I have one more question for you. Isn't it bizarre that Brahimaj didn't find a front choke against Themba Gorimbo when those two matched up? It's crazy the sport we bet on, because Themba leaves his neck out there all the time, and that was Brahimaj's first fight back from a huge layoff. I think if you rematch those guys again, I think Brahimaj is absolutely finding the sub in that fight.
In what fight?
So Brahimaj, when he fought Themba Gorimbo.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like Brahimaj would absolutely find the sub now that he's kind of regained his form. Like, yeah, that was his first fight off in a long time. When he fought Gorimbo.
100%.
All righty. Why don't we move on? Yeah, we're trying to fly through the prelims so we can save more time.
That's a good comment, though. That fight was after back injury.
Right. And I think if you rematched him now, I think
especially with Gorimbo's neck, bro. He's got like a giraffe neck.
And, Luque found it, so I trust Brahimaj to do the same.
I love Brahimaj, bro. I think he's fucking good.
I do too, and that's what's tough because I also wanted to buy Soriano at welterweight because he's been so.
I think
good
he's
down
just
there,
such
too.
a bad stylistic matchup for Soriano, a guy that
Sure.
has a great chin and can find subs against with the wrestling. So
Yeah.
I think it's a great spot.
I
think there's a lot of spots for like minus 130, minus 150 favorites on this card where I'm just like, I would have them as over a 2-1 favorite.
Interesting. Well, we'll see if you're over 2-1 here. I'm going to guess you are because Jocelyn Edwards is taking on Nora Cornolle. We've actually seen these ladies fight before in 2023. Cornolle got a very fortunate decision in her own home country. It was a close fight, but like it was the decision, the damage versus control argument and all that stuff. But now they will rematch a few years later in Houston. So this is neutral territory for France and Panama, I guess. So Matty, what do you think of Cornolle Edwards too? Because Jocelyn, coming off a winning streak, is a minus 350 favorite all the way up to on FanDuel right now.
Jocelyn by decision, minus 145. Just fucking lock it in. Don't overthink it. She wins on the scorecards in Houston. I like her, bro. I think Edwards is good. She's solid.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. She was in my closing line value parlay that I put out earlier today in the Home of Fight Discord. I'll get that plug in. We got a link in the episode description if you want to see my picks as well as some other folks' picks that run through there. I will say the decision, I didn't expect it to be so short. I have it minus 104, so I'm a little bit off there. But yeah, I mean, Cornolle has been super durable. Obviously, really no issues at distance with either.
He's
Carol
36 now, though. That's
and Edwards has been a finishing machine. She was the first girl to TKO Priscilla Cachoeira. Like she got the 3rd round sub of Tamiris Vidal. I'll tell you what I think I'm a little bit more afraid of here than the KO is the sub, bro. I've got sub plus 660 for Jocelyn. I kind of like it.
Ooh.
Because Cornolle is a striker
50,
primarily.
Plus 650 on Hard Rock. That's crazy. You have the exact number.
Yeah. So, like, I'm right in the same area, and then I shopped this. I found plus 750.
I can see a rear naked choke late, like a 2-3 for sure.
Yeah. And Edwards, by the way, deployed a grappling-heavy game plan the last time she fought Cornolle. She landed 5 takedowns, landed 8 minutes and 42 seconds in control time. So, and I feel like Jocelyn's gotten better since that fight.
Well, I'm going to see what it is on other books here. I want to see if that Hard Rock number is solid.
Please, Hard Rock, give us 7-1.
It's 650 on Hard Rock.
I still don't hate that.
I want to see what it is in some other books if it's a good number. FanDuel is wrong fight. Where is it? Here it is. FanDuel Edwards by sub plus 750. There's some plus EV for you, bro.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm going to have to go with. I probably am going to end up finding a way to bet that somewhere as we get off the air today. Yeah. Like I didn't expect that to be so long, but that's the decision being at minus 145. And I get it. Like it overwhelmingly women's bantamweight fights go the distance, but it doesn't feel like Cornolle, like she had an opportunity to kind of advance toward the rankings. And I've just been so disappointed in a couple of her fights recently. Whereas I feel like Edwards is on a completely different trajectory.
Yeah, and she's not getting any younger. Edwards round 2 sub plus 2250, round 3 plus 3000, bro. Now we're talking about language right now.
Yeah. And I think I like that sort of later angle as well.
I can't see a round 1 sub.
Me neither.
So like how do you not get there on 2-3 if you're going to play it? I mean, let me check that with FanDuel. Edwards, yes, the same number, 22-1 and 30-1.
Yeah,
that's my angle, bro.
Edwards,
I'm down to sprinkle on it.
Nice. Yeah, Edwards didn't really start going for it against Vidal until the 3rd round. I think she knows that she's in a must-win scenario. Yeah. This is going to sound crazy, but Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes are not getting any younger. Is the future of this decision not kind of Jocelyn Edwards, Ailin Perez? Like, who is out there at 135 that you look at and say in 2029 this person could be fighting for the title?
Yeah.
I mean, Jocelyn seems to be getting better constantly. Every time we see her, she's added at some of the grappling elements.
Yeah.
You know, she's shown power.
I trust her, bro. I trust her for sure in this fight.
That's why I laid the money line, is because like I have her 70.1% to win. So I'm not at minus 310, but I got minus 280 and I said, fuck it. I trust her. Like you said.
Yeah, 100%. We got a super chat here, boys. Guys, just a reminder, if you submit a super chat, I'm going to look at all of them by the end of the show. I'm going to select one of them, and I'm going to put $100 parlay on your super chat. We're going to go splits 50-50. So you're investing a few bucks here, taking a chance of me picking it. This is the first one of the show. Coria KO, Ramiz sub, Edwards decision, 33-1. I'm going to take a picture of that one.
I will say Big Maple was the guy that we chose last show, and I do not blame him for that parlay not going well. Like Almeida
was him, wasn't it?
Yeah, Almeida sub was a good angle, and I just
Almeida, bro.
he's
I
too
knew
small.
I knew right in round one. I was like, I know it's cooked, bro. Yeah. Bro, can we talk about my cycle that lost by the KO leg? Do you remember what it was?
No.
2 weeks ago. So
let me double check here.
So I had Kyoji decision as the last leg.
Mm-hmm.
The first leg I had
Wong Kong, dude. Wong Kong.
What was the submission one? I had
Jake Jakob. Yeah.
Jakob by sub plus 300. He gets a sub with 1 second left in the fight. Clear tap. It was a clear sub. And he could have had it multiple times throughout the fight. So then I needed Juan Khan by KO for $100,000 in hindsight after Kyoji got the decision. And I'm like, fuck, bro. She had the KO in round one. We needed 10 more seconds of time for her to finish that fight on the ground with the ground and pound. Then round two, this girl is still wobbled. I'm like, we still got it. And how the fuck does Juan Khan give up a takedown in the early in round two and laying her back for 3 or 4 minutes? I was like, I cannot believe she didn't get her out of there, bro. If she finishes that round one, it was a nice uppercut. She finishes that, I win 100 G's, bro. That's how close the cycle was 2 weeks ago.
And at the end, she had her gassed out and bleeding, and she was going for a choke instead of just, hammer away.
Bro,
just go
I was fucking beating the TV.
When Wong Kong got that first drop, after you had got the sub with 1 second, I said it's Maddie's night. Like that was my immediate thought, is that it's just gonna work out for Maddie tonight, and that was crazy. Now I had Maura sub round 2, so I also didn't get anything. We both had such good angles on that fight and didn't end up with the cash. It was disappointing.
Yeah, it was unreal. I'll tell you one thing: if the Jakob sub was the last leg and it hit with 1 second left, that would have been my best win of my luckiest, or whatever you want to call it. It would have been my favorite win of all time if that was the last leg and it hits with 1 second left. And then the sickest thing is I'd fight not to start round 3 in that fight instead of just taking the fight to not go the distance. I was like, it was just not my thing, bro.
I mean, any over 2.5 hit in that fight as well. It's just
I know. It's like everyone that took the under 2.5 got fucked, and then if you took the fight to go the distance, not go the distance, you won.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, we had Wilcatch and then Almeida was our 2-leg sub long shot too. I thought after we got that Jakob one, I'm like, maybe it is our night. Yeah. Maybe it's Matty and I to cook there. But why don't we move on, buddy? We can certainly talk about our close calls probably till the end of time, but we'll try to focus up. And we just got a little bit of a preview of this. Big Maple sent in a parlay with Alden Coria by knockout. We'll see if Matty agrees here in this fight against Luis Gurule at flyweight. Matty, I was really impressed with Alden Coria in Noche UFC last fall. I was not expecting much from him on short notice, and he blew out Alessandro Costa, a guy that I really liked historically. So now it feels like this is almost a step back in competition to Gurule, but he's a durable veteran. What do you think of this matchup?
What is the sub number? Because I saw the super chat. I like Coria by finish.
Okay.
But let's take a look now. I'm curious. So Coria by subs plus 1,300. KOs plus 260. Decision's actually the shortest outcome at plus 130. But yeah, I think this is one-way traffic for Coria here.
Damn, ITD is plus 185, bro, on Alden Coria here.
Yeah. I see, bro. I got plus 210.
Whoa, on inside the distance?
That's a bad number. I'm hitting that shit.
I love that for him. Obviously, no model because Coria.
Let's do a finish parlay this show. That's going to be leg one. That's going to be leg one of it.
I'm down.
Yeah.
We'll do it inside the distance violence parlay. It feels like a violence type of card, so I agree with you there.
200 to 1 tricycle. Submit it in the super chat, bro. I might play it for you for $50. That's 10 bands.
Can we make a rule? Can we hit a bicycle before we move on to the tricycle? Like we gotta walk before we could, run. But
tricycle's so hard, bro.
Yeah. But Gurule,
I need to see someone hit one though. Someone's gonna hit one for sure.
an immediate home fight feature if you end up hitting a tricycle.
I feel like in the tricycle, you just have to take fights to end by decision, fights to end by KO, fights to end by sub, just because it's 6 fights on an outcome. It's just insanity.
Any sort of combination of that in a tricycle would be impressive, regardless of how juiced the legs are or anything like that. It's crazy. But
you had this fight modeled at all or not enough?
No, just because Coria had less than one full fight. But I mean, I played him in that CLV parlay I was talking about earlier. Gurule has just been so underwhelming. Like, I thought at the very least I was going to get a guy who was tough and who was game. And Osbourne finished him in round 2. And then you get to his next fight against Jesus Aguilar, who has T-Rex arms. He's got the shortest reach in the entire division. And Aguilar boxes him up, man, like on the feet. Like, didn't even get to the point where the ghillie came into play. So you get a guy that doesn't have a lot of power, isn't super efficient per minute, has grappling limitations, and doesn't really wrestle himself. Like, how does he beat a guy in Coria who showed off such well-rounded skills against Costa? Like, I don't understand it. And the chin worries me for Gurule. I don't think that he has great submission defense, even though he hasn't been submitted as a pro. This is his toughest fight of his career, and all of a sudden he hasn't really done better in the other ones either. So I feel like this is a spot where they're kind of pumping up Coria a little bit.
Yeah, 100%.
So do you like knockout or sub better here? Let's look at that. So Coria KO is plus 270, sub is plus 950. So big lean to KO.
I see plus 1,300 on the sub. That's why the numbers 210 inside the distance. That's why.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a crazy number, bro.
He's
got fucking 4 submission wins, and he's getting 13-1 against a guy that's a 2-1 dog.
I think it's because Gurule's never been subbed.
Yep.
But like, he hasn't really fought. And Fury FC is pretty well known for, like, they have great striking prospects. I don't always know if it's the best grappling regional promotion. So, like, I like Fury FC. I'm based in Texas. I think it's a fun time, but I don't always know if it's the best UFC breeding ground.
Fair enough.
So, all righty, man. Let's move forward here. Let's talk about this next one up. Same division, though. Osbourne, I mentioned him a few minutes ago against Luis Gurule, a former opponent of his, taking on Alibi Idiris, who cooked a lot of parlays for folks that maybe were just laying easy chalk, not thinking too hard about the Ultimate Fighter finale late last year. Idiris got submitted by Joseph Morales as a minus 500 something favorite. Not ideal. Always a good idea to double check before you lay heavy chalk in a parlay. I'm pretty sure I might have got burned as well. I really liked him in that particular matchup, but now he comes back to earth a little bit. He's minus 140 against Osbourne. Matty, what do you think about this matchup?
So here's the thing. I think Osbourne's pretty solid for like a 13-9 guy.
Yeah.
I think he's improving. How old is he now? He's 34. I don't know, bro. This is a tough fight. I think it's a coin toss, so I kind of like the plus money on Ode here, but I don't know. This might be the one fight on the card I don't even have action on, truthfully.
Okay. I texted you this afternoon. I said there was 2 fights that I was going to ask you, and I was willing to go with whatever you said. That's kind of where I'm at with this fight too. Like, I really don't know what to do with it. I think there's a little bit of odds makers think that Idiris has better to show than what he did. And nerves can always be a factor in one of those like finale sort of shows or the contender series. But I just feel like the arrow's up on Osbourne a little bit when, he hurt Steve Erceg in his last fight.
I know, but that's why I'm like, are we buying him high off of that?
I think we probably are, but you look at some of the rest of his results, throw out the Gurule KO, but he dropped Lazy Boy Rodriguez early in that fight. Very could have argued it could have been stopped there in round 1. The Jafel Filio submission, the Asu Almabayev submission losses, like, those are really quality guys that are moving into the top 10 of the division. So it's like, I see him as like the ultimate gatekeeper of the edge of this flyweight roster. Like, if you are UFC caliber, you typically get through Ode. But if you're not, he's proven capable of turning those sort of dudes back. And like, I don't have a strong opinion of Idiris at this point.
Ode by sub is plus 1,600.
Ode by sub?
He does it 5 subs. It's funny because he's 5 subs and 4 sub losses.
Yeah.
So fucking what? Dude, literally what's that? So 9 out of his 22 fights have ended by sub.
Yeah. This isn't fair for me to do just because they're from the same country. But you remember Azit Maxim in this
Yeah.
division, where like we kept waiting for this guy to be this highly touted prospect, and he was a big favorite, and then he was a big favorite, and then he was a decent undersized underdog, and he was a popular dog, and he just never panned out. I wonder if Idiris is getting a little bit of that. He's from the same place as Almabayev and Shavkat, and like we're giving him that credit, but he looked really bad in the Joseph Morales fight. Like it didn't look like he had a lot to offer, and then got submitted from top position. So it's like Ode's a guy that has power. I think he's very fast. I think that his grappling has come a long, long way in the last couple of years or so. Who's chat? Who is he training with? I forget that he switched gyms. I think it may be Sarah Longo, but I'm not 100% on that. But like he has been improving incrementally, and I don't know. I feel like this is a spot where I've said a lot of words and probably going to have no action.
That's fair. But the fight to end by subs almost is like 5-1. If you kind of want to just say fuck this fight, I'll sprinkle $100 in the end by sub. I don't hate it. I got a super chat right here. I'm going to read off. This is super chat number 2, guys. Remember, if I pick your super chat, you're going to get a free $50 parlay on your cycle or on your long shot. So super chat number 2, we got Mel Costa by decision.
Okay.
Oris Medish by KO. Fluffy by sub. I don't hate it. I'd rather see you take the Medish fight to end by KO though.
Well, you're not opposed to adjusting like that to certain plays. So
if it's my favorite one, but I want to make a tweak to it, as long as the person approves it, which I assume they're gonna say yes because of free $50 on a parlay, then yeah. But I'm gonna consider this one for sure. I do. We'll get into the Costa fight here in a little bit, but I do like that angle if you're going to take the milk side.
There's a ton of Ode sub love in the chat. He's 0-3 to submissions in UFC. Can we I don't get it. Like I don't really understand. Like that's why I prefer your
point. He did have Lazy Boy in a sub, right?
Yes.
It was pretty close, I remember.
Yeah. He did almost sub Lazy Boy, but I don't know if I have a super high prior on Lazy Boy right now.
I don't think Medish fought Jalen Turner, right?
Yeah, he did. That might have been his UFC debut for Medish. That was back when he was at lightweight. Yeah, but in a different weight class, I don't even know how much you could take from that fight at this point.
Yeah, good call. That was back in what year was that? 2021. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait to talk about that fight. I love that fight.
Yeah, we can't wait to get there either. Why don't we move one step closer here, Matty, to this next fight up at welterweight? Chidi and Njokuani taking on Carlos the Lion Leal. Couple of veterans coming off setbacks, coming off losses that probably dented their chances of actually making any sort of run toward the top 10 or anything like that, Matty. But we've seen plenty of both of these guys now to this point where I'm very interested. I don't have a model result quite yet, so I'm very, very interested to hear what you think of this matchup, which is probably the closest line on the card.
Yeah, so this number dropped in half, right? Like a lot of sharp money came in on Chidi when he was like plus 200 or
yeah, and now it's definitely shrank down. Yep.
And call me crazy, but is this now a buyback spot on Carlos Leal? Like, how many times out of 100 does he get sparked by fucking Muslim Salikov? Once or twice?
Yeah.
Like, like this guy was like a killer. Everyone was looking at him as a killer when after the Morono fight. Say what you want about Morono, but he usually didn't get put away that easy. And I mean, he just backed them up and fucked them up in round 1.
Yeah.
I'm kind of leaning towards the Carlos Leal side now that this price is, I think it's lower than 140 right now. What's it at? I would be surprised if this fight's a pick 'em by Saturday.
Yeah, I have minus 140 on FanDuel.
I see minus 125 numbers out there right now that you can get Carlos at. I actually think he just has to. I think he actually has to survive round 1. But I mean, I think I actually like his style against Chidi because Chidi's gonna throw those kicks and stay at range, but Carlos just has to pressure him and stay in boxing range and get this guy up against the cage. I kind of like a 2-3 angle for Leal here. I just think it's a buy low spot on him getting sparked. I just don't see that happening very often. That was, bro, where that fight was in. Where was that fight at?
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, bro. It was one of those fights where it was just like the crowd was into it. Salikov sparks him. No one fucking saw that coming.
Yeah.
If his chin's still, there, and that that wasn't the start to the end of his chin, then I kind of think it's a buyback spot on him after all this line movement. Like minus 120 is crazy, but I mean, Chitty can give him problems stylistically with the reach here and the kicks. So
Yeah.
it's a tough fight. It's a very tough fight. I could also see this one hitting the scorecards if Chitty's like keeping his distance here. So this is a very tough fight to predict.
If it goes all 15 minutes, who would you rather have a ticket on by decision?
It's so hard because if Chitty keeps his distance, well, the whole fight then Chitty. But if Carlos is pressuring him well, then I think Carlos. But this is a really fucking hard fight, bro. It really is.
This is the other fight I texted you about that I was going to go with you, and your thoughts are almost exactly mine. Like it's spooky. It's like you just pulled that out of my brain, and that like at this point, I know Leal is coming off that KO, but I trust his chin ever so slightly more than I do Chidi. Like Chidi's getting up there in age a little bit. I don't think he's particularly effective in boxing range. And Leal's a guy that he is I'm about to dig into Joe Rogan's lexicon. He is a marauder. He comes forward, doesn't always keep his hands up. Like he's kind of an old fashioned traditional brawler. And a guy that I think if he's able to keep this in the pocket against Chidi is going to look very good. But if Chidi can get that tie clinch against him, if he can work his range with his kicks, I could see him looking very good in this fight. But I agree with you. I think we have a lot of settling out to do, you and me, of let's see where this line goes, because all of a sudden, if Leal flips to plus 100 by Saturday, I'm in. Like I would grade Leal about minus 120, minus 125 here, and his sample is just a little bit too small to model. The Morono fight didn't last long enough, and it was a long, explosive beating for as long as it lasted. But he won the Renat fight, and you and I have both.
I was gonna say, so if he didn't get robbed in the Renat fight, the dude was on a 4-fight win streak, and then he just got sparked against Muslim Salikov, like 40 seconds into the fight.
Yeah, and now he's on the roster bubble because if he loses to Chidi, he's 1-3.
It's just not a good look because the loss is kind of aged pretty poorly too. The way Salikov just got starched against Oris Medish.
Yeah,
but he got starched against Randy Brown too.
Weirdly, I think that's just kind of the Salikov paradox, is he can catch you with something, but at the same time, he's also pretty fragile himself at this stage. And Leal just got caught. It happens in MMA, and I think we can buy. I'm with you. Like I would have been on Chidi at like plus 160, plus 150. But now that the line is moved, I think we just wait, and I get the younger guy. I get probably the aggressor. I get the guy moving forward. I get probably the guy of the two with any sort of wrestling and grappling upside, although Chidi's entry-level takedown defense is excellent. It's when you get him down that he may struggle to get back up and kind of flounder a little bit. So I think this was one of the best matchups on the card, dude. I can't wait to see what this fight looks like because there are a lot of different things I could see happening here.
Yeah, we got a comment here. Is this a super chat or did he just type $2 in?
I think he's tried to send a super chat. It didn't work, so he sent his super chat right
That's
after.
Hilarious. All right, we'll read it anyways. Carly KO, Yadier, ITD, Edwards points. Spivac fight ends KO. Jesus, bro, this is a book. Costa decision, Neal fight ends KO, Hernandez points. 40-1. P's picks. What's good, P? Interesting. How do you feel? So, Carlos Leal, round 2 KOs 8-1.
Okay.
We saw RoboCop put Chitty out in round 2.
Yep.
Round 3 is 13-1. I mean, who do you think is the better cardio?
Definitely Leal. I'm worried about Chitty's cardio now that he's cutting to 170 a little bit. I think he slowed down. I think he slowed down a lot in that Reese McKee fight late.
Interesting.
Plus 122 is not a bad number. If you got Chidi, right, like that right around there is when you get to the tipping point. But I agree that I think I like this fight to like start round 3 and then maybe I play a Leal 3 decision angle, like that kind of fight where I think Leal wins by a nose. But it's kind of a tough matchup for him.
Fair enough.
All right, let's move forward here and let's look at our home of fight picks, boys, who continue to crush it week in, week out. Nolan, we're running room on the graphic, buddy. We're running out of room on the graphic. If you win 12 straight weeks in a row, it's unbelievable stuff that you've gotten from him and our guy Hey Jive making money as well in the DFS space. These guys are great at what they do. right now, DM Home of Fight Picks on Instagram. HOF Picks. You can visit winnable.com/HOF Picks. But the first, how many people did we say it was? 200 people?
Yeah.
To DM Home of Fight Picks, you get free picks for this weekend's card if you DM Home of Fight Picks on Instagram. Just show up there and ask for picks and tell them Austin sent you, and we'll see how many people they end up giving them out to. But this is something that you want to try. You want to see how these pros have this approach. I saw I've had a couple of bets tracked already, so it made me double question myself a little bit, kind of look at what I was doing, because I respect these guys so much, and you guys should too. Code HOF will give you 7 days free if you go to that link Matty put in chat, or you DM on Instagram. Lots of ways to join the Home of Picks family, and I suggest you do so.
Let's go.
All right. Why don't we move up onto the main card here with a guy that is fighting not too far from home, 2 hours away from Shriner, Texas, is Zach Reese, fighting in Houston at the Toyota Center. He's taking on Michel Demolador Pereira, who is usually instant offense, instant entertainment, and fun. So, Matty, I think you've got a lead. Just something tells me. I don't know what it is. It might have been a Telegram notification I got about an hour ago, but something tells me you got a lead in this fight. So why don't you tell the people what it is?
I love Michel Pereira. Is my favorite money line play on the card. He's climbing a little bit, but minus 140, minus 150 range. I still like it a lot.
Okay.
Bro, this is just recent biasy. Nixick said that Pereira is fucking dialed in, that he wasn't really training in some of his past matchups, and I think Chris Dawkins would fucking kill Zach. I said Chris Dawkins in my video, and I had to fucking edit it. Kyle Dawkins, I think would kill Zach Reese. I think Abus Magomedov would beat Zach Reese, and we know damn well Fluffy would beat Zach Reese. So I just don't understand it. Like, Michel Pereira is minus 350 favorite fucking a year ago in this matchup, maybe more. So I just think this is the best buy low spot of the year right here. I love Michel Pereira. I think he's training with Strickland. I think he's back in shape. I can see club and sub. I like the early finish. I mean, Zach Reese struggled in round 1 against Jackson McVeigh, and I think Michel Pereira is going to be 3 times better than that in round 1. So I like a round 1 finish. I like Pereira on money line, and then the sub plus 650 is crazy. I can't get that in Florida, but I love Michel by sub here, just because I think he can be opportunistic with some of these. I think he has to damage him first, but I think if he damages him on the feet, we saw it in the Mihala Zaychuk fight. He hurts him, then he just grabs that neck. Yeah. So I do like the sub sprinkle as well, but I won't be surprised if he starches him.
Yeah, this is such an interesting matchup, because you would have thought that Reese would have kind of a soft landing spot in this spot. The fact he's got the red corner means that he's higher in UFC's internal rankings than Michel Pereira, which seems insane to me. Yeah. When we saw Pereira take out Michal Zaychuk and everything like that. If Reese survives round 1, it's over for Michel. So I think that comment is getting us.
I don't agree with that.
It is an interesting thought exercise. I will say when I start my analysis, because I do have a model result that I think is on crack a little bit, but there is no outcome early or late in this fight that would surprise me whatsoever, because Pereira has been a guy that's been historically inconsistent. I am worried a little bit about the gas tank. And when I think of Zach Reese, it's just a guy that's raw. Like, he's got all the tools. He's got great jiu-jitsu. He's got great length. He's got good power. But, like, I just don't think he has fought enough to put it all together to have a high level of experience. The Jackson McVeigh fight was an eye-opener, because we think of McVeigh as a regional guy that Bruno Ferreira took care of like that. And he was giving Reese problems before Reese was able to get him to the ground and submit him. And Pereira is a guy that is notoriously tough to grapple. It took Anthony Hernandez 5 rounds to get him out of there, or into the 5th round, I should say. Really good entry-level takedown defense. The thing that I will say is that the size advantage here for Reese is going to be notable. And in a wild, volatile firefight, I think, as I guess why my model has Reese a favorite here, I've got him 53.3% likely to win. It is that sort of size and danger. When you look at Michel historically, just a 0.46% knockdown rate. It's not very high, and it probably ain't going to get higher as he's moving up to this middleweight sample here. And then all of a sudden you look at his submission attempts, only 0.7 per 15 minutes. So, like, Michel's a guy that's had good moments at middleweight and stuff like that, but it's really hard for me to envision what it looks like other than just catching Reese's chin, as a couple of other guys have done before.
Yeah. We got a crazy super chat here. We got Judice round 1 KO, Ramiz round 2 sub, 100K Dan Ige, Round 3 KO. I fucking love this, bro. I love this. I love this. At
Hold on 1
530,
second, buddy. I totally lost you, and I know it's on me.
Okay.
So
At
give me 1
530
second
to
to
1.
try to
This
get
is
my audio
insane,
squared
bro.
away here.
This
Let
is
me see if I
crazy.
can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
The heck's going on?
Chat, can you hear me? Let me know in the comments.
It is on Austin's side, if either of you can hear me, fellas.
I can hear you. Everyone else can hear, just Austin. How much is the fight to go the distance? Let's take a look. The fight to go the distance is plus 260. Crispy is Judice. Carly Judice. The levels parlay needs a repost. I got you. I love this parlay. Over 500 to 1, bro. I'm probably playing that. I might win. We shall see. The 1, 2, 3. Brazilian Yair. Let's see. Here's some advice for Austin. Here we go. Here you go. Can you hear?
Yes, I got it. I knew it was 100% on my end because I heard my headphones just cut out entirely from all sound whatsoever. Telegram, anything. I'm like, I knew. Wait, so quickly in 30 seconds, what was your rebuttal to that? Because we're kind of on opposite sides there.
I don't remember what you said, but I love Michelle Pereira.
Okay, I like Zach Reese. We'll see which one of us is right. Let's move on to the next fight. To the fight between Jacoby Smith taking on Josiah Harrell in a couple of fun, how about undefeated 11-0 prospects going head-to-head here. Jacoby Smith coming out of Fortis MMA, a guy that dominated the regional scene, looked awesome on the Contender Series, 2 dominant wins so far. And Josiah Harrell, I'll get into his story, really, really cool as well. So, Matty, what are your general thoughts on Kobe Smith? I know he's the guy you were big on before the Nico Price fight. Are you as big on him now?
I'll be lying if I said I was, but I'm still bullish on his skill set. I love this guy. I think he's so fucking good, but man, I hated his performance. Maybe it's part of it's just a sour taste in my mouth because I had the KO and he subbed him. But I didn't like, especially the way people are putting away Nico Price early these days. I just didn't like the performance. But I'm sticking with Jacoby Smith. I'm not going to play a minus 310 money line though. That's for sure. Tell me your story on Josiah here with what you're saying.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of fight fans know at this point here that he was booked against Jack Della Maddalena in 2023. They did a pre-fight physical. They found out he had a rare brain condition that they did immediate surgery for. And he probably, if he had fought with that and not been found, it may have been life-threatening. So the fact that he's come all the way back from brain surgery, he's won 4 fights in a row. He now has won an LFA. Like, he is a very accomplished prospect in his own right. And of course, he's stepping in on short notice because Suk-Young Ko no longer in this match. Like, that Jacoby Smith Ko fight was going to be one of the best prospect fights of the year.
That was a tough fight for Jacoby. I feel like that was a hard fight for him.
For both of them, because I feel like Jacoby's stand-up might have given Ko problems as well, right?
Yeah.
But Smith will gas and Harrell will take over. I got to say, I just am a little bit worried that as Smith steps up in competition, he's got a style where he exerts a lot of energy. The Nico Price effort looks really, really bad in context with how Price has looked against everybody else at this point. And like, Kobe just didn't have a lot of fight time at this point. He's got a lot to learn. He's got to go to deep waters at some point, whereas Harrell has been the distance. And I think Harrell is a guy that has the athleticism, has the balance through takedown attempts to survive and give Smith problems. And I kind of agree. I think that's sort of my lean.
Yeah, that's fair. I do think there's a world where Jacoby gets finished late here, but I think he squeaks out of this. I think he squeaks out of decision is my read. Can you hear? I think he just abandoned the headphones, bro.
I know. I'm gonna have to just abandon him.
I'm gonna keep it moving while Austin's coming back, boys. Up next, Sergey Spivac. This one's interesting. Versante Delija. Spivac. I don't know. I hear Austin in the background. Let me see real quick. I can hear his audio, but I can't see him. Hold on, boys. Battery died.
I got it, Matty. Don't worry. I'll keep an eye on Austin.
All right, cool. All right, guys. Sergey Spivac, small underdog here. Tell us in the chat who you like in this matchup. I will say, Ante, I just think I remember I had a bet on him by KO. He got the eye poke against Cortez Acosta. But if you go back and rewatch that fight, I don't think he was having as much success as people think. He was clinching a lot. It's kind of a little grappling on the feet there, up against the cage. I do think Spivac is a live dog here. Tell us in the chat what you guys like. Plus 609 or plus 600? Plus 600 submission. I think it's live. I think Sergey Spivac could get a body lock and end up on top here. But it's a tough fight to predict. Malaysia inside the distance. Spivac. Sergey Spivac. Round one. Let me see what that is. Spivac is just so hit or miss. He's so hit or miss sometimes. Sometimes he looks so good. I love this performance against Cortez Acosta. I mean, should have been a close fight on the scorecards. I think there were some 30-27s out there for Cortez Acosta, but that was not an easy fight for Cortez Acosta. I actually think that fight aged very well for Sergey Spivac here, who held his own in the striking. Spivac's going to sleep. Unproven wrestling decision. Interesting. All right, let's hear it, Dixon. We got a Spivac takedown ladder. 2, 3, 4. I'm assuming his over-under is 1.5 takedowns. All right, guys, I'm going to keep it moving while Austin is coming back here. I love this fight. This is fight of the night material here. We got 50K Dan Ige, who is trying to get his first 100K bonus here with the UFC raising the performance bonus from 50 to 100. All right, let's see if we got Austin back. There we go. Can you hear? I can hear you.
Buddy?
Can you hear me?
Hold on one sec.
All good.
I'm trying to make this up as I go. So
All good, bro. You can hear?
I got you now.
All right, perfect. Tee it off, bro. Good, do your thing.
Did we move it? Did I miss a fight?
Here, I'll go backwards. There we go.
Who do you like in this fight, Spivac or Delija?
I kind of like Spivac as a dog here, and main reason is I don't think Delija had that much success against Cortez Acosta, or at least as much success as people thought.
Sure.
If you go back and watch that fight, he really didn't have that much success until the eye poke, and then obviously, the fight played out the way it did with the TKO and then them reversing it. Bro, Spivac held his own against Cortez Acosta on the feet for 3 rounds. So I think he's improved a lot. I think he's an undervalued dog here. So I do like the Spivac side. I'm not super confident. I also think he can win a decision as well here, which is a great number. Plus 475, bro, is insane. But the subs even longer at plus 600 here.
Which of those do you like if you like Spivac? I don't, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, I like the decision angle.
Yeah. It's interesting. It really comes down to Delija is pretty untested in terms of his wrestling, and I think that's going to decide the fight here because Spivac has gotten blown out in any fight that had prolonged distance. It's really not. I think Delija is a step down in competition from like a Cyril Gahn or a Waldo, but if Spivac hasn't been able to get his wrestling going, he's looked terrible against just about anybody. So I think
Costa, I thought he held his own in the striking. Did you not agree with that?
The box score didn't.
I know, but the eye test, bro. Because I agree. Once the decision, because bro, I had Cortez Acosta in that fight for a huge bet.
Yeah,
I was actually nervous going into the scorecards, just the way these judges are. But I thought it was a close fight. I really did, just by watching it. Maybe it's because I had such a big bet out there.
Yeah,
but I didn't think it was a blowout of a fight by any means.
I thought Cortez won pretty comfortably. Like it wasn't a blowout, but like it's not as bad as maybe the box score looks, but I definitely think Waldo. Well, you and I are Waldo guys. So like I kind of lean Delija. It's interesting that his decision and his knockout are so close, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a typo. Points is plus 600 for Ante Delija.
Oh,
that's
wow.
interesting.
Bro, I kind of like length in general in this fight.
Yeah.
For the heavyweight fight. So let's see. It's probably an over 1.5 round, right? That's at over 1.5 is minus 110, bro. I love that.
I'll take that. I like that too. I think I'm going to end up playing the over in this fight because, maybe Spivac is able to get early takedowns, but Delija also hasn't been subbed since 2014. Yeah. So and he trains with Aspinall. So I feel good that he's a plus heavyweight grappler and can hold his own a little bit there. And whether he's able to keep his feet and win, I'm not sure. So I'm with you. I might just play the over and not have to worry about it.
Yeah. I think if you're going to play this side here, you can play the decision prop and get a great number. Yeah, that decision. So Spivac decisions plus 475.
Yeah.
Elijah decisions plus 600.
I don't agree with that comment that Spivac doesn't win decisions. It's just because most guys outside the rankings can't survive.
He's 2-2 on the scorecards. His last decision win was Alexio Olenek, 2021, and then 2020 on a fight night card he won by decision. So he does have 2 decision wins in the UFC.
Yep.
I think if he gets on top, it's obviously very scary. But like, if Delija can survive the ground and pound and not get caught in an arm triangle, I think he can stay safe there. It's a tough fight for sure, but I have more of a coin toss, so I do like the polar bear here on the money line.
I'm good with that take because I would not lay minus 160 with Delija in this spot. I don't know enough about him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Are you a Coke guy? Do you have a Diet Coke? Is that what they're saying in the chat?
Yep, Diet Coke.
I just have Diet Pepsi because that's what I have. I'm not a loyalist. So, I just go out and order a diet, whatever.
I don't really give a shit. As long as it's diet, so watch my calories, I'm good.
Yeah, okay. I gotta watch sugar, man. It'll get to me quickly. Yeah. But all right, man. Why don't we look at this third to last fight on the card here? Melchizedek Costa taking on Dan 50K Ige. This fight is a banger, and that's why when this is not even the co-main event, like we need to put some respect on this card because I can't wait to watch this fight. Matty, Melch Costa coming off a 4-0 2025, and Ige, this gatekeeper, he denies or accepts guys into this ranked club. We will see then if he's able to deny a ranking and a number to Melch Costa. Costa minus 215 here, Matty. I thought about putting Melch in my CLV parlay, but I just had a little bit of hesitation. That's my respect for Danny. Do you have a little bit of hesitation about him at minus 215 as well?
I like Danny Gay, bro. I like.
Okay.
So I have 2 angles. I think you go the decision, or you play Danny Gay KO. You can play both and make money. That's the way I see it. Bro, I can get Danny Gay at plus 475. I guess what people are saying about Danny Gay is he's just been too hesitant.
Yeah.
But man, that 100K versus 50 now, if that's not a reason for him to start swinging, I don't know what is. I think he's going to come out. We saw Melch get caught by Steve Garcia just a couple years ago. I still think he could catch his chin, but he has to fucking be aggressive. He has to take one to get one. He has to jump into the pocket and find a big right hand. I think he can do it. I also think he could do it late. I really do. I'm going Dan Ige by knockout here. Plus 475, bro. Plus 475.
Yeah, I got to look and decide. I mean, I knew it was going to be this way because my model, again, is on crack. Again, this is a retooled model. It looks completely different than it would have a couple of weeks ago. I'll get there in a minute. But I can't disagree with you in that, like, Ige nearly put out Lerone Murphy, so how could you say that he's not possible to put Melky out here? Right?
100%. Literally, that's one of the number one reasons I like it, is that outcome that almost happened. And then just, we know this guy packs a punch.
Yeah.
I just love the number, right? If you're going to say, hey, who are you taking in the fight? I'm going to go Melch. But I do love the KO price here on Dan Ige. Especially because I think he's a world where he's down on the scorecards and he's gunning for it. So round 3 to me. Round 3 was in that 1-2-3 parlay, right? That maple set.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's why so much. Dan Ige round 3 is fucking so interesting to me, bro.
Yeah, it is tough. I will say that I'm kind of out of value range on the money line because I've got Costa minus 187, but I am at least willing to hear the model out on this. It basically is looking, Ige has spent a lot of bottom control time in UFC. He did so even to Patricio Pitbull in his last fight. And Melka's a guy who averages 1.2 submission attempts per 15 minutes. I think he's a really good grappler. We saw him lock that up on Andre Fili lightning quick when Fili stuck his neck in the cookie jar. And the thing is that what is the most popular common betting trend about this fight? It's going to be Dan Ige's never been finished. All 10 of his losses have come via points, and it's interesting to me that Costa is a minus 215 favorite, but decision is only minus 120. It's one of those things where is that free money or is this potentially the spot where the trend is bucked? Now, I totally messed up last fight. I played Costa's sub decision against Charrier and he landed a head kick that ended up screwing me out of, if I had just played the money line, I would have been way better off. But, I think certainly because really Ige has struggled against more of a wrestling threat. Costa's got a little bit of that, but I don't feel great about it. I think the size dynamic, the volume advantage on the feet would be what pays dividends for Costa. And I'm at least willing to hear my model out about a sub dart at 12-1. It's not a big one. So I think it is at least interesting what it's saying about Ige maybe being due for sub regression from spending so much time in bottom position.
Yeah, fair enough. We got a super chat
What
here. Javier round 2, Edwards round 3. What is that? Michelle
Pereira
round
1, yeah.
Parlay round 1 KO. Plus 750 the one. Is that what I'm reading?
Yes.
Jesus, that's insane. All right, I took a picture of it. I'm going to consider that one for sure. Got a couple other comments here. Dan Ige wants it more. I like it. No one's been finished until
the Pitbull fight from Ige. I was big on him in that fight.
I was too. I lost my ass on that fight. I just feel like there's so many buy low spots on this card, bro. Dan Ige is one of them. Michelle Pereira is another one. There's so many in my view.
Is it a buy low spot or is it a deep concern? Because I don't think that was a bad moment for Ige. I think it was a really bad performance.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think there's only time will tell to answer your question.
I'm pretty sure Costa would beat Patricio Pitbull tomorrow just based on his speed and volume on the feet.
Yeah,
but it's a different matchup, and that's why we do this. Is MMA math doesn't translate like that. So
100%.
All right, buddy. Why don't we move on to the co-main event of the evening? And it is an interesting one here I've been a card-carrying member of the Hands of Steel Legion, Jeff Neal taking on Uros, the Dr. Medish, two good nicknames here, at a welterweight fight. Man, this is a big step up for Medish. Co-main event, live show, taking on a guy who's been a stalwart in the rankings in Jeff Neal. And the odds reflect that. Neal is minus 215 here. Do you give Medish any shot of pulling the upset, or are you more so a Jeff Neal guy in this spot?
I got Jeff Neal round 1 KO, bro.
Ooh, okay.
Go left hand down the pipe. I think this is a great get back spot by him. Guys, go check out the Jeff Neal interview on the Home of Fight YouTube channel. I'm telling you, the guy's dialed. He's sober. He battled addictions. He's sober. And I think it's a great matchup for him. Medish is very hittable. Very hittable. Do you have any numbers or insights on that, bro, on his striking defense?
Well, on paper, it's okay. It's 56% overall.
Yeah.
But we could break that down by difficulty of opponent because he's had some cupcakes mixed in there.
What about knockdowns?
Knockdowns allowed. I think it's 2 total for Medish. I had knockdown stats offensively for him, but he definitely has been clipped.
Medish got clipped in his last fight, didn't he?
No, he got Salikov in that one. Is Gilbert Urbina got the early knockdown
fight 2 fights ago? Yep.
So
Gilbert Urbina's knocking you down in round 1. I think Jeff Neal's putting your lights out in round 1. That's some MMA math for you.
I gotta say I have minimal confidence here as well, but I've got Medish a slight favorite. 50.6%. He's a guy that is going to be really hard for me to not model a favorite until he fights tougher guys because 3.48% knockdown rate. It's the highest, or 3.83%, knockdown rate. Highest at welterweight, minimum 5 fights. The guy has shown power and I don't know if any of the knockdowns are super impressive. Salikov, Gilbert Urbina, Tim Means. It really comes down to whether or not you think Jeff Neal is completely toast. And I will say I'm a little bit less certain than I was before the Protest fight. It was a third straight bad fight inside the rankings for him. And you look at Neal's last 3 wins, Rafael Dos Anjos, Vicente Luque, Santiago Ponzinibbio, none of them have aged particularly well. So it's a concern. Like I've been a Neal guy my whole career. Like I was big on him against Shavkat. It didn't work out. Wow, we have some real split consensus on this fight. Some people are like Medish early. Some people are Neal early. I gotta be honest with you. I kind of like length of this fight, which is not good for Medish because he's historically been a guy that doesn't even see the cards. But Medish was very close against Matt Semmelsberger from doing so, and he would have had a chance to sneak out that decision. I like Big Maple's tape there. Over sneaky could be a staring contest. That's my model's favorite play in the fight. 57% or 47% likely to go the full distance here. And that's just Neal's hallmark durability. And he's not a guy that has put a ton of guys out recently. The Dos Anjos thing was an injury.
I hit the cycle on that one.
we did. We had Hamzat sub, Neal KO, and we had our guy Ismail Nardiev by decision in that one. Yeah. So Uros dropped by Urbina. I'm telling you guys, when you get 2 powerful dudes in the cage like this, I feel like saying, "Oh well, this guy dropped him." It can be a hard translate. I feel like I've made that mistake myself. So I've really tried to take a step back and weigh probabilities. I think a big thing here is these guys are both strikers. Neal has a 4-inch reach advantage. That could be proved to be huge. And it's a southpaw.
2-inch height disadvantage and 4-inch reach advantage is crazy, bro. You got some long arms.
It's a southpaw versus southpaw fight. And the last time Medish saw a southpaw was the knockout loss to Puna Soriano. So, you know,
I love Jeff Neal round 1 KO.
Yeah,
he can't come out timid because he lost. But what did you think about his performance up until the spinning elbow in the Protest fight?
I was a little bit underwhelmed because Protest is typically a guy that will give minutes away. I think it was probably the best performance of Protest's career.
Yeah, but I think Protest is so much more difficult of a puzzle on the feet than Morris Medish, bro.
What if you told me that both guys' chins were like invulnerable somehow and like that nobody would get knocked out, you know who would win a 15-minute decision between Protest and Medish? It would be Uros Medish very easily, in my opinion.
That's insanity, bro.
But the problem is the chin thing is real. He was dropped by Urbina, Soriano KO'd him, and so did Jalen Turner. So like we can't live in that world. But I think the odds are fair here. I know my model is always going to love Medish until he kind of evens out, but it's an interesting fight, and I think I'm just going to bet Medish because I'm going to root for Jeff Neal, and that way I feel like I win either way.
Fair enough.
All righty, buddy.
Before it was.
My bad.
Before we do the main event, boys, I want to plug something that we've been working very hard on at Home of Fight. If you're a gambler, which I assume you are, if you're watching this show, this shit is the most fun, addicting thing you're ever going to do. It's the Home of Fight cards, homeoffightcards.com. I'm going to show you guys a live one real quick. It'll take 60 seconds. I know you want to see pics.
Yeah.
I want to show here, let me remove this. I want to add this to the stage. We're going to pull a card live on the show. All right, I'm going to show you guys how it works. Homeoffightcards.com to do this. You click buy now. We're going to buy. Oh, I don't have enough money. Hold on, bro. Yeah, I do. We're good. I got $100. It's $60 to pull a card. Hopefully we pull a good card for the show and it's not a $30 card, but it just depends what happens. Let's take a look. All right, so you purchased a card for $60. This is in partnership with collectibles.com, so they have unlimited UFC inventory. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you got Sean O'Malley cards for $1,600. You got Habib cards. You got Paddy Pimblett at $600. Why is this loading?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
are these mailed to you or are they virtual cards?
So you buy a card on the site and you have 3 options. You can sell it back right away. So if you spend $60 and you pull a $300 card, they're going to buy it back from you. You cash out right away. Okay. You get 90% fair market value purchased right away on the site. Option 2 is you mail the card to your house. Option 3 is you just keep the card on your profile. It's kind of like an Instagram flex. You can go on your profile and everyone can see the cards that you have. All right, what's going on here? Let's try this again, boys.
I thought you told me I was gonna open a free one too. Where's my free card?
I gave you. Yeah, did you make an account? I'm gonna give you money in there to try one. Once we get this shit moving, boys, I'm gonna do free cards on the show as well. So we're gonna do that Friday on the Longshot show. How is this not working? As soon as I fucking do it, bro, it's worked all day long.
I can attest. It's usually instant, bro. I don't know why.
Instant. Right when I do it on the show, it doesn't fucking work. That's unreal.
I feel better about you having at least a tech hiccup, given that my setup just completely destroyed itself like a couple minutes ago.
All right, if this doesn't work in the next 15 seconds, we're going to skip it, boys, but I'm going to be so disappointed. I've never once had an issue. That's insane.
This is a really cool program. I'm not really a collector, but I was intrigued when you mentioned this to me today. And you said you can open one on the show, and I said, heck yeah, why not?
Yeah. All right, guys. Tech issues. It might be because we're on StreamYard at the same time.
Oh,
we're just going to kill it, boys. I know you guys want to get to the main event here. But go check that out. I promise you it works on mobile or on desktop normally. Here, I'm going to put the link in here. But, yeah, let's go to the main event now.
All righty. All right, let's take a look. It's a cool program, Matty, and this is a cool main event that you and I have been talking about even for a while. You mentioned the odds on last week's show. I won a card. Now look what started with. Well, he said, Matty, you're going to give away some cards once we get it up and running.
Friday night show. We're going to pull people on the show and let you guys rip them for free.
There you go.
Only show on Friday night. I think it's at 8 or 9 p.m.
So join Hey Jive and Matty on Friday if you want to rip a card for free. But Matty, we got to rip this main event pack here with Sean Strickland taking on Fluffy Hernandez. Fluffy Hernandez is your guy, bro. He is potentially this one fight away from a title shot at 185 pounds, which sounded crazy 4 years ago, but that's the wonderful MMA journey we're on. He got a very tough matchup. You said one sentence to me about this main event that I think is such a good take about it. So tell the audience what you told me about this matchup for these guys.
What did I say?
Well, you said this was a brutal matchup for both of them.
Okay, yeah.
And I totally agree.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Strickland's takedown defense is as good as people think. So I think Fluffy's takedown prop, do you know what it is?
Oh, like how many takedowns he'll land?
Yes, it is.
Is it 5.5?
6.5.
Yeah.
And I like the over. I'll tell you why, because he's going to spam them the whole fight. He's going to, strike, and then he's going to shoot these takedowns up against the cage.
Yeah.
But Strickland gets up very quickly. So I think there's a world where Fluffy could get 2 or 3 takedowns in literally 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Strickland is very fast at his get-ups. But, yeah, I like Fluffy Hernandez in the fight. I will say Sean Strickland looks to be in crazy shape. He's shredded on it. I mean, it's on Instagram. Take it for what it's worth. But the guy blew up like a balloon, kind of like Paddy Pimblett style. I mean, fucking 3-4 months ago, this guy was like a heavyweight. And, bro, he is shredded now. So it does make me a little nervous. But I got to trust that. Fluffy said he wants to torture this guy. That's what he said.
Sure.
Sean Strickland's playing the whole ICE agent versus foreigner here, which is crazy.
Okay.
But I think Anthony Hernandez is going to literally try to torture him like he says. And I like a late finish, bro. I like a late finish. I was looking at the sub and the KO angles here, and there's clearly more value on the knockout with the ground and pound.
Sure.
The way that he did Michel Pereira. The one thing that scares me is sometimes Fluffy lets these fights go too long. Like that Michel Pereira fight, I thought should have been stopped rounds ago. And he just piles it on him. I mean, you can make the argument that changed Michel Pereira's career, and we've seen this skid from him now. But he beat him down for 5 rounds. I actually think Strickland's best opportunity is early. I think if you hurt him with a body shot or catch him like Kevin Holland did a while ago. But I think Fluffy's going to wear him down over time. I like the 3-4-5 angle here. I absolutely love the round props, because I think the ground and pound's live here on the referee stopping the fight on some ground and pound. But I like 3-4-5 angle here. I'm probably the biggest Fluffy guy. Don't know him personally, but I just think he's so underrated. I'll tell you right now, bro, if that Fluffy Hamzat fight ever happens, I'm taking the 3-4-5 for Fluffy, because I think if Fluffy survives 10 minutes in that fight, I think Hamzat's in a world of trouble. So you guys can clown me in the comments all you want, but I'm telling you right now, mark my words.
Yeah, I Matty, when have you ever not been Fluffy 3-4-5 since he started again?
I made so much money on this guy. I had round 3 KO against Marc-Andre Barriot. I hit probably 25-1 on that one. I've hit Fluffy sub props. I mean, he's just printed me money. I do think Sean could get choked out, in a rear naked choke. I do think it's possible here. But I think 3-4-5 is the angle. I think you just don't overthink it. You just take him late.
When do you ever see this on FanDuel is that all 5 of Fluffy's round props are either 11-1 or 12-1. Like, when do you ever see that? Like, this is a guy, he is one of a kind, man. And like, I was very pleased with retooling my model that it has not been very super heavy on Fluffy here historically. We're getting there. I've got him minus 174 in this spot, which is like a good, it's not value against his money line, but I think some of that is Strickland looked really bad in the Duplessis fight. Fluffy's looked unstoppable. Like, there's a little bit of a buy.
Fluffy has a lot of the same, like Fluffy stylistically does a lot of what DDP does as far as pressure. He's in your face. I mean, Fluffy's the better grappler, but this is a good comment, bro. Abus had Sean's back.
Yeah. So my model really likes Fluffy sub. I've got it plus 204. So that comes in shorter than his odds there. If it goes the distance or if it's a longer fight, I actually have them about equal to win the decision in that terms. Showing a little bit of value on the fight not to go the distance at plus money. And that probably would be Fluffy, I think. Like, we got a good comment a little bit that the teep kicks that Strickland throws, Hernandez hasn't always reacted very well to those body shots. That's how Kevin Holland kind of hurt him to start that sequence. Michel Pereira landed one early, way before he started to get destroyed. But I think this fight comes down to Sean's cardio and his anti-grappling. That is pretty much any Fluffy matchup. But haven't you heard Sean, like, everyone says he's like this great grappler, but he just never shows it. Like, that's kind of the rumors behind the scenes, but we've never really seen it. I'd argue maybe we have, because in both of his fights against Dricus, 25 minutes long, no more than 2.5 minutes in control time in either of those. And really, if Fluffy is having to work to get him down, get him back up, he's a guy that hasn't shown any cardio issues yet, but like, does it happen, especially if he's working the body? Strickland is a really tough guy to get on the ground and keep down. I think this is easily Fluffy's toughest fight of his entire career. And in some ways, Strickland is an excellent matchup for him. And, the thing about Sean, though, is he kind of lacks that one-punch power that you think might be necessary to beat a guy like Fluffy, a guy like Holland, who's dangerous in those individual moments. And I thought it could have been Delidze's coach, Eric Nixick, same one as Sean Strickland, and man, was Nixick mad at Delidze throughout that fight, because he's like, it doesn't sound like he's listening to me. I think he was just drowned by Fluffy, and that's my fear of betting Sean Strickland's money line here, is these guys, they face Fluffy, and all of a sudden he's got that grin on his face, and he's doing the smirk, and he all of a sudden he has melted everybody, and Strickland is not a guy that I think I've seen enough of his anti-grappling to be like, oh yeah, he's going to stop Fluffy from being Fluffy. It's a really tough fight to call. I think Fluffy is a deserved favorite, and I'm surprised his submission prop is not shorter when he's had such a high volume of attempts historically. And I think any of the messing around or anything like that, if he can go for a sub, he's going to get it, because his title shot is right here, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you, bro.
What's up with this injury?
He's telling me a lot more on the sub, dude. I just see it. I can just picture him in a rear naked choke, fucking making a crazy face and Strickland tapping. I can just see it now in my head, bro. I can't get it out of my head.
What's up with this injury talk with like Hernandez like injured? And
I don't know.
I haven't seen anything regarding that. Obviously, it would make a difference, but it's just tough. It's also always a little tough for me to bet Fluffy, because I feel like he has kind of dodged some of the weakness in his game for a long time. He's had advantageous matchups, and this is a tough one. But at this point, I'm kind of bought in. And by the way, my takedown projection for Fluffy, only 4.23.
I just think it comes down. If that fight goes 5 rounds, I think he clears 6.5. But if he gets the choke early on the earlier mid fight side, then obviously it's going to probably go under.
Right. That's exactly it. It's a median, because there could be early submission stuff. Strickland by TKO to the body be crazy. But if you end up saying, hey, this fight started round 4, Fluffy's probably already at 7 or 8 takedowns.
Yeah, that's fair.
So been sore these last few weeks.
I'm very excited for this main event, though. I think it's a great main event.
I don't want to ruin this for you because you've been cashing so much on Fluffy, and then all of a sudden, if I hop on board and I play 3, 4, 5 in the sub, he's gonna get finished in the first round because I've been an ultimate bush, dude. I
think I'm gonna have Fluffy sub in the cycle, and then I'll play the 3, 4, 5 finish prop as well, like outside of the cycle.
Yeah,
I actually have a cycle teed up here. I don't think I'm gonna give it out of the show just because I need to bet it first.
Okay.
It's 27-1.
Well, if you're not giving out parlays, why don't we give out parlays that are other than the cycle?
Let's do the finish parlay real quick, and then let's do your safety.
Matty, we got an intro. I was hoping to tee it up, and you're like, let's do the violence parlay. So you want to do the violence parlay before the safe parlay. That's fine by me.
All right. I know we agreed on one leg, which was
Coria.
Coria by finish. Plus 210. I know you love that number.
Yes. Yeah, that's great.
Are you down to go Yadier by finish? Minus 160.
Yeah, I am.
Got 2 legs. Let's find one more. We need a little juicier of one. I would go Jeff Neal, but I know we're not going to agree on that one. What about
yeah, I kind of like the over in that fight a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not really much else we're going to agree on, I think, from a finish. What about Brahimaj?
I like Soriano decision there.
Yeah.
Were we opposite on a lot of these?
We were opposite on quite a few tonight. There's really not another good finish one we're going to agree on.
What about what could we just take Pereira Reese to not start a certain round? Like under 1.5 is minus 142. We could go. Like Pereira round 1, right?
It's still not juicy though. If we go under 1.5, Coria finish, Yadier.
Yeah,
finish.
But I was gonna say, what if we not start round 2? Because I kind of like Reese round 1.
All right, I'm down for that.
Okay, is that our finance parlay?
Let me see here. Round props. Fight to reach round 2. No. Plus 983. We're close enough to 10-1. Let's lock it in, bro. I'm gonna say 10-1 violence parlay. Coria finish. Yadier finish. Reese. Michelle does not.
Well, okay. If we want to lock it in, that's fine. But I was also going to say, don't we both like main event to not go the distance?
No, I'm not putting that in its leg because Fluffy just fucking just grapples him up for 5 rounds. I won't be completely shocked.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I like this a lot. 10-1 violence parlay. Coria inside the distance plus 210. Yadier inside the distance minus 160. Michelle Pereira fight does not hit the second round. Get you 10-1 on your money. I think it smacks. I think that smacks.
So, can I run another one past you real quick? So you like Pereira sub, right?
Yes.
Let me see.
Like the end by sub is like plus 300, plus 400, I think.
Okay, I've got it plus 265. So like another one that we could just throw out. We don't have to make it official. Is that fight to end by sub, and then Jocelyn by sub for like probably 25-1.
That'd be crazy. All right, give me a safety one, bro.
Okay, yeah, let's build it. And by the way, safety parlay cash. We had Dustin Jacoby money line, and then the Matsumoto fight.
Bro, I'm so upset with myself. I didn't back my guy Jacoby. I knew I thought I was being biased, and then I laid off of him. But man, he just shows levels, bro. I want to see him make a run, dude. Put him on the White House card as like an early prelim or like the first fight of the night or something.
He's earned that. He has earned that recently, and they robbed my guy Matsumoto, bro.
The UFC is going to look at him as being a big enough name to be on the card, but I think he could be an opener.
Yeah,
put him in like a fun striking matchup to open the card. That'd be sick.
It was
he's a very American USA guy, you know.
Well, he asked to play golf with the president, didn't he?
That's what I'm saying. So it just comes down to does the UFC think he has enough pop in his name, I think.
I mean, keeps knocking dudes out. That'll do it. Yeah, but by the way, they robbed my guy John Matsumoto blind. He won 2 and 3. Yeah,
I agree. I liked Matsumoto to win that fight.
Matsumoto's a dog, but
What was
let's
your
see.
first leg on the safety?
I don't know. That's I got to figure it out.
You like the over in the Chitty fight?
Ooh. Yeah, okay, this is greasy. So round 2 to start round 2, what do you think about starts round 2 in the Spivac fight minus 152?
Love it.
I do too. And then
I have minus 180 on that. That's a good number.
whoa, okay. Wow, interesting. That it's Isn't it kind of crazy that in Njokuani Leal to start round 2 is only minus 126?
Yeah.
That's weird.
You got to give me your second leg, bro, because I got to go use the bathroom.
Okay.
But I like the first one.
Can I tell you where my gut went?
Go ahead.
Lebosnoyani money line.
What is it?
The John Paul JPL money line?
Bro, I'm down. Let's run it.
Okay, it's plus 1. Yeah, plus 130 together. So I'll type it in the chat here.
Type it in. Give the people their chat. I'm out, bro. I got to use the bathroom. Peace out, everyone.
All right, guys. Maddie's going to go use the restroom, but I'm going to type in here my safety parlay. We're looking for 3 of 4 here to begin 2026. I'm going John Paul Lebosnoyani. Easy enough for me to spell. Money line. And then we're going Sergey Spivac and Delija starts round 2. And if you put those together, I've got plus 142. But you're probably in the plus 130, plus 140 range. Oh, does that mean I get to pick the super chat? And he has to pick what I pick? I think that's what that means. Is if he left me in charge. It's
Producer confirmation. That's what that means. You're the boss now.
I am the boss now. Correct. Okay, let me see. So we've got Fluffy Sub, Neil KO, Spivac points. I'm opposite 2 of those, but Matty would like that one a lot. Do I be a good home fight employee? He did welcome me under his wing. He would like that. It's kind of a cycle play. That what else we got here? Costa decision, Medish KO, Fluffy Sub, 1931. Let's see. Levels parlay. Oh, I forgot we had I got to scroll up and see what Praz was because it was like $2 and then that was like the 7 leg parlay. You got to keep it tight. Big Maple put a couple in here. What do we got? Coria sub, Coria KO, Ramiz sub, Edwards decision. This is why I'm not a long shot guy. I'd pick the plus 7,400 parlay. I'm going to be a good employee. I'm going to pick ERT Bull 3895. I know Matty would like this one. Fluffy Sub, Neil KO, and Sergey Spivac by points. That's what we're going with for this week's winner. And also, I think ERT is new for the chat. So you'll get, he'll put $100 on your parlay, $50. Let's see what this pays, by the way. I'm going to put it in so we can get an idea of what it pays. You got to make sure to put the odds in here, guys. Okay. Me and Jake, our producer, we work like a dog day and night. We can't be doing extra math on the side.
Give us your odds next time you're DQ'd.
Yeah, we're letting you off with a warning this time, but what was it? Neil KO?
Fluffy Sub, Neil KO, Spivac.
I'm making an executive decision just like Matty would because I think he's on the wrong side of that. I'm gonna go fight ends KO there instead of just Neil KO, which is
ERT said plus 36.95.
Yeah, so it's still 25-1 if I go fight ends KO, so we get Medish and Neil. Is that okay, ERT? If I go and I make it either guy wins by KO at plus 25.50 or so. He's sticking around, so I'm going to make sure. I'm going to make the decision for you too if you don't say anything, ERT. I'm just going to take over, and everything you get, it is what it is. 100% fine. There we go. We love to see it. Okay, Spivac points, Hernandez sub, and Neil Medish ends KO. It's still plus 2,500 or so. So I will have to let Matty know he's playing that parlay whether he likes it or not, because I get to choose. But thank you guys so much for joining us for our UFC Houston breakdown. We knew it was going to be a fun one, and coming off of the off week as we continue through this slog. I know we got a card next week. I'm checking right now where it is because I'm going 1 week at a time.
Mexico.
It is in Mexico. That's right. We got Lonnie Kavanaugh in his first main event off a loss. What could possibly go wrong there against Brandon Moreno? But we'll be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern to break that down. I should take half of the money. Maybe I get half of Matty's half. We'll make that particular rule if it hits, because I made the pivot. Especially if it's Medish that gets that KO to catch it. He owes me big time. So I appreciate you guys tuning in and all your chats and contributions. We love and support you guys for loving and supporting us and what we're doing here and what we're building. We're so excited about that. Stay tuned again. Matty's on with Hey Jive on Friday night for Longshots only. He'll have his cycles on YouTube later this week, as well as my fight-by-fight betting primer will be on homofight.com on Friday around midday as usual. Thank you guys so much for supporting us and our show. Until next time, best of luck. May all of your bets cash and enjoy the fights on Saturday.